The only danger is if you go overboard and begin to try to place dates, to calculate exactly when it's going to happen, to be too concerned about specific events which are occurring and too quick to place them in categories if they fit into chapters of the Apocalypse, like this famous book that came out a few years ago, The Late Great Planet Earth. In 20 years it will be outmoded. And all the things he talked about, he has to go through and make a new book and fit them into some kind of new event. So it doesn't pay to go overboard on those details. Our approach has to be a little broader, a little higher, but just as firm. And of course, the big mistake made by people who go overboard on these details occurs when they're falling into the heresy of Chiliasm, the expectation of Christ coming to earth for 1,000 years. This is a very troublesome heresy, which was widespread even in the early history of the Church, and was condemned at the Fifth Ecumenical Council. No, even earlier. It was condemned at the Second Ecumenical Council, and that's when the phrase was put in the Creed. And the kingdom of Christ shall have no end. Because the idea was that the kingdom, since it says in the Apocalypse, chapter 12, I believe, that the devil was bound for 1,000 years, and Christ came and reigned with his saints. If you just read the text straight through without stopping and interpreting it, especially reading what the Holy Fathers have said about it, you get the idea that there's some kind of period of 1,000 years somewhere between the first coming of Christ and the second coming of Christ. And that means you have to have 3 different judgments. In fact, the Protestants do that. They have a great white throne judgment and some other kind of a judgment. And it sort of confuses the whole picture of Christian eschatology. But in the universal interpretation of the Orthodox Holy Fathers, there's no mystery about it. The whole idea of the reign of Christ with his saints is occurring now. This is the church. The life in the church is such a blessed state because we are with Christ, we have his grace, we have his body and blood within us, that this is like paradise.